Today on Nova Legends podcast, I have George Mason midfielder John Balkey, recently named Player of the Year by the Washington Post. Incredibly prestigious award. John just finished a illustrious career at Riverside. Actually, just finished his club career this week as well. So that's why I introduced him as a George Mason midfielder now. John, good to see you again, man.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, of course. So look, man, what did you? This was the toughest. This was the toughest crop of seniors and high school players I've ever seen. I've only been following for 5 years when my son was playing. Didn't really follow high school before, but I remember one year there were two Division One players in the All Met teams: Cooper Noseworthy and Matthew Leonard. And that was it. And there's just not. There wasn't a lot of high school Division One players that are playing high school. It wasn't because there wasn't talent around. But this year, there were so many Division One players, even on your team. But if you
Yeah.
look at the all Met list, I think there's probably eight or nine on the first two teams. There's there's Stanford on the honorable mention. Others, I know guys that are good players didn't even make honorable mention or playing D1, and you do too. It was your teammates are one of them. It must be incredibly fulfilling for you to win that award amongst so many great players.
Yeah. I'm super grateful for the award and yeah, I'm just really like thankful for all the support I had. Honestly, like with all like the amazing talent, like you were saying, I feel like one of like the biggest reasons I like attribute this award to is like my amazing teammates and my amazing coaches that are always there like to support me, especially having a really good team around you makes it a lot easier to like perform and play well every single game. And I think my teammates who are like giving me the ball, scoring goals for my assists, like helping me score, all that stuff. Like I think all that really was like the biggest contributor to like my success in winning the award, I would say.
When did you find out that you won?
I was actually in Charlotte for like a soccer tournament for club soccer. It was like this like MA Cup thing for Arlington, and I was there. And then we had our first game that Saturday. It was like June 7th or June 8th. And then when I get back in the car, there's like five missed calls from my coach. Like I was so confused what he was calling about. And he like called my parents too. Like they were so confused what was happening. And then I picked up my phone and I was like, Coach, is there anything like I thought there was something like wrong or something? I called him, I was like, asked, was there anything wrong? He's like, no, no, everything's good. And then he like told me that I won All Met Player of the Year, and I was just like really excited. He just said like he sent the guy like my information. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like it was out of nowhere too. I was not expecting it at all.
It's really, if you go back and look at the interview I had with DT, it was the
Mhm.
same day his coach was trying to call him, and he was like, why does he keep trying to call me?
Yeah,
I remember I just had a flashback to when I was interviewing, him last year. Where were you in the high school season when you got that call?
it was before the state quarterfinals. It
Okay.
was like leading up like that Tuesday was the state quarterfinals, so just before like the state tournament.
Yeah. One of the reasons why with Nova Soccer Source that I've only done 6C and 6D. I'm going to do class 5 next year because I'm out here, but I didn't get to see a lot of games and the teams never
Yeah.
played. So it's so hard. I never wanted to judge. I don't want to judge people that I've never really seen compete on the same level. Even
Mhm.
though, when I saw you guys play Light Ridge and Stonebridge, it was obvious you guys were incredibly talented team, but I never want to do it. But next year I want to cover the 5 as well because I feel like yeah, as I've told you before, I wish they all played together on one circuit. So, when you did you tell anyone that you won? Were you able to keep a secret?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to keep the secret pretty good actually. Like all my friends were like so confused and they were like, "Why'd you tell us?" But I was like, "I can't." I only told my parents right away, obviously, and then I told my girlfriend actually, and those were like the only three people that knew
Yeah,
up until then. So yeah, I kept the secret pretty good.
yeah. Next time you got to tell Nova Soccer Source.
I know.
Tell the other. No, I had so many people call me and looking for clues because I'm friends with this
Uh-huh.
guy, and he wouldn't tell me, and I was with him at the Class 6 final, and in my mind I was like, these guys going to have a big opportunity because the
Mhm.
Washington Post is they were there your final too, but I think one of the guys with the most influence was at the Class 6 finals, but I
Mhm.
guess it already been
Yeah.
given, so it didn't really matter so much. But anyway, you deserve it. I don't think anyone's ever going to argue about it. Did you talk to DT about the award?
I actually did not talk to DT very much. I like reached out and just like I told him like after I won, he like commented congrats, and I was like, yeah. And then I was kind of just like asking him like I was just like asking like how like his like process went. And he said it was like pretty similar to mine. Like I was just asking like what he had to do kind of. And it was like pretty similar. Like you go in, like take the pictures, like do all that stuff in your uniform. But yeah, it was like pretty similar to my process. There was no like real like interview I had with the Washington Post though.
Yeah.
It's just like I was just like asking him about all that stuff.
Yeah, and in football and basketball, they take first team pictures with the whole team, so
Mhm.
it's harder to keep that secret. So that leaks out.
Yeah,
But in the spring, they just do the for all the sports. They just do. There's so many sports, you can't do all of them.
yeah.
Um, you can't do all of them. So what does this say about Riverside? Two years in a row, Player of the Year. Um, Again, you had so many quality players on your team. It's ridiculous. I don't think there was a team in the state that had the quality of players on a team. But what does it say about Riverside, Coach Harris, the program, and what comes to mind?
I mean, I think it kind of just I think kind of like speaks to like how good like how the coaching is and how they can really like create like an environment for players to succeed almost like I don't really know like 2 years in a row like with DT having like as many goals as he did last year and then this year I feel like not even just me but like a bunch of players having really good like performances like individually like this year I feel like it kind of just speaks to like the environment we sort of have where like people have like a really good platform to succeed and get good accolades and
Yeah,
I know like this year didn't really end like the way we wanted, but I don't know. I feel like definitely like with the coaches, like the whole coaching staff, and also the players too. Like it just does like create a good environment for players to succeed in high school.
yeah. I have to admit, I'm a little worried about high school soccer in Loudon just because MLS Next is coming here, and
Mhm.
everyone freaks out when they first hear it. And like this year in Fairfax County, Arlington, Alexandria, no one didn't play. Almost every single top player played. I know there might be one or two out there, and you may also, but almost everyone played, and they're all on MLS Next teams. There are some underclassmen who may not have played, but almost every senior played for the high school this year.
Yeah.
And because there was so much, everyone wanted to win it. There was so much quality. I'm
Hmm.
hoping that the fact that you won this and that will help encourage people how important high school is.
Hmm.
What do you think? Do you think high school soccer is in jeopardy in Loudoun County next year?
Maybe a little bit. I know like some like especially like all like the NBA kids around here in Loudoun County, like going to MLS next, they're gonna have some tough decisions to make. And I would say, yeah, it's like a little bit in jeopardy with MLS next, but like I think maybe like knowing that all the seniors want to play and like it's almost like when you're a senior, it's like this is like your last chance to like win a state championship. It almost I feel like it'll incentivize like enough people to play and hopefully like like stick with it almost and like play high school soccer. But
Exactly. I mean, once you're a senior, especially if you signed, you don't play that many meaningful games in April and May. You may have a tournament here and there, but let's face it, it's pretty much shut down.
mhm,
You guys went to a big tournament
yeah.
for ECNL, but generally, club soccer kind of peters out, I think, by then. So hopefully, cooler heads will prevail, and guys will, and the club and also the players will support the high school because there's nothing like the high school game. Well, let's talk about Riverside High School. So first of all, Herndon had beat Herndon beat uh,
Wakefield.
well, they beat Westfield.
Oh.
They beat we'll get yeah we definitely
Oh.
will get there, but they beat Westfield on penalties, and they were
Mhm,
and McLean lost to Wakefield on penalties and horrible weather. It was just
mhm,
monumentally bad weather, and look, Wakefield deserves a lot of credit. Kids got a lot of heart. And then in the Herndon had to win a game in penalties in the regional in the regionals as well, in the states as well. Oh, in the state semifinals, they won on penalties. They were down in that penalty shootout. Wakefield had to win on penalties against a tremendous Garfield team. My goodness, they're on the level of with Riverside in terms of talent.
mhm.
Do you feel there's a certain randomness in results in soccer? Herndon was a very worthy winner. They got so much quality, great
Mhm.
coaching job. I love those guys. They got so many good players, but they could have lost. On one kick, I remember Liche Rodriguez. He if he misses, they're done. They were down the penalty shootout. So many times in their season they could have been out. Do you feel there's a certain randomness in results that makes it a little bit unfair?
I mean, yeah, I would say definitely. Like in terms of PKs, like it's almost a 50-50 in terms of like in terms of talent, like you can have the best team, but in penalty shootouts, it's all up to it's like a 50-50, I would say.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got unlucky in PK shootouts with which is almost like I mean, I might have a little bit of bias, but like in my honest opinion, I kind of like that. And I feel like that's kind of what makes it so like special and these like amazing like runs that teams can have. And yeah, it's really random, but like a team only you only have to win like this one game. Like in terms of like let's just use like the Wakefield game and also the Herndon game as an example. Like those are region semifinals. All these teams have to do is win this one game and you're in the state tournament. So it makes it a lot more exciting and the games mean a lot more. And you can almost like try and play for the tie and go to penalties if you know you're not the better team in a way.
Yeah.
Just try to
But this,
win the randomness.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, nothing. You're good.
No, but it's hard to live with though. I mean, look,
Yeah.
you guys play the right way, well coached, great team, good kids. I saw you guys play Light Ridge, and I'm not going to take anything away from them. They're a really really good side, but I mean, obviously, you at least deserve to be in the state final, at least the way you guys for your
Yeah.
talent level and stuff. Is it hard to live with when you kind of lose like that? I mean, you lost in overtime, but is it hard to live with?
Yeah. It's a little difficult. Yeah. I mean, sure, it kind of sucks. Like this is the way like we went out on penalties, but I mean, at the same time, there's like a lot of things within our control that we could have probably changed in order to like win the game in terms of like finishing chances and other things. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be something that like I'll remember like for sure how we
Yeah.
lost, especially in like the state semifinals and like the region final as well.
Do you replay a lot of plays in your mind, things that you might have done a little bit? I'm not trying to blame you. I did.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I know
you're
you
good.
played great, but do you
Yeah.
replay things in your mind that things you wish you could have done differently?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot of like moments like that. I mean, there's like some specific ones like in the region final, like when we went to penalties, I took the first one and I missed it. So it was kind of like
No, he
not
saved
off
it.
on
You
the wrong.
didn't
Yeah,
miss.
he saved it. Yeah, I didn't miss. Yeah, he saved it, but kind of just like thinking like, all right, this team definitely like watched the last penalty shootout we had against Stonebridge, and I went to the left. So I was thinking like maybe I should have gone to the right, but left is
Oh,
like the side I normally go to. But that's like a play I can sort of think of, and there's probably a lot more that are like coming through my head now. I'd say
yeah. You know, it's funny. I
like
well, funny is not the right word, but I was like commentating the Herndon penalty shootout in one of the games. Oh, it was the penalty shootout. I forgot which one, but I predicted it was in the state semi against Cosby, and I said that Blal usually goes left because he takes the penalties for Herndon,
mhm.
and I just figured no one's watching my live at the game, and it's Cosby people, but he did go left and they did save it, and I was like, wow, I hope I had nothing to do with that. So then I wonder if Bilal heard that back because he shot the penalty the next day. It was interesting because they have a lot of great penalty shooters. They went
Mhm.
right back to him for a penalty during the play, and he went to the other side.
Yeah,
And I was like, I wonder if he knew that I had said that, or anyway. It's so psychological, and it really it's hard to live with. Now you guys lost in Seattle as well in the ECNL, and this is a team you've been together with for a very long time. Did it hit differently or hit the same as losing out in high school? Compare the two, kind of like your last games with both sides.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like it was a really similar feeling. I mean, we lost on a penalty in states and we lost like in a penalty shootout in ECNL. And I mean, not to like discredit the team that beat us in ECNL, but and in high school, but I just thought we in both games we were definitely the better team, but we just couldn't make it happen. But yeah, after the game, like it was like really sad. Like I was crying and stuff. And it's just like kind of sad knowing like these are like your last like steps of youth soccer and that it kind of like ends in this way. And I feel like in that like regard, it was like really similar experiences, I would say, in terms of like the people. And I've also like been on each team for 4 years as well. Like I've been with Arlington for 4 years since like my high school started. Then I've been on the high school team for 4 years. So it kind of like was just like the end of like a chapter in my life. And it didn't really end the way I was hoping for, like the way I wanted, really.
Was the pressure the same? I would think it'd be more pressure for Riverside just because
Mhm.
expectations were so high. And even though you love your
Yeah.
UCNL teammates and they're an amazing team, I mean, look, when you guys lost, I didn't even know you guys lost until Michael's dad messaged me and said that you guys had lost. So like no one really knows unless you're kind of like
Yeah.
in a text chain. So
Uh-huh.
is the pressure different?
I mean, maybe a little different. Yeah, knowing that I'm gonna like, knowing that a lot more people are gonna like know that I lost. Yeah, that's definitely more
Mm,
pressure. And I would say, yeah, the Riverside game might have been like a little more pressure because I don't really know. I can't really like, explain it, but yeah, definitely just like the quality we had over the other team was a really big difference. So
yeah.
just like kind of not like, especially the first half, maybe not really performing our best might have been like a lot of like like some like regret, and also just the way we lost on like a penalty kick in overtime kind of sucks. I'd say it's just
Yeah, oh,
like
that's right. It was a
really
penalty kick too.
disappointing.
And in ECNL, I mean, you guys are a very quality side, but there's other sides that have a lot of quality.
Yeah.
High school, I don't think there's very few teams I would argue that can, if
Mhm.
you could match up, man. If you drafted players from 22 players from both
Mhm.
schools, you guys are probably going to have 10 or 11 of the first picks. Anyone you play against, almost in the state, I would guess, or well, maybe not that much, but
Yeah.
anyway. So I want to get back. I think we talked last time before playoffs, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah. We
sure.
did.
Let's
Mhm.
go back to the Stonebridge game. Now that was I remember this. I asked you guys about penalties, and I said, you guys, no one can win a state title without winning the penalty shootout. And I remember saying that. I'm like, God, why did I say things like that? These kids, all the pressure they're going to be on there, I got to say something like that. I remember, and then Ali responded to it. We talked about it a little bit, and I guess he was kind of hoping you guys were so much better that I forget what he said. I should have gone back and
I like it wouldn't go to penalties.
exactly. There's something that I kept saying, God, I hope not, but this is the way our game is. So what happened in the Stonebridge game? I know I saw you guys play them in regionals, and you guys were so much better than them. And I got so much hate from Stonebridge players. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But anyway, what happened in the first What happened in the first Stonebridge game?
Uh,
The district Stonebridge
yeah,
game.
the district one. Yeah. When we played them in like the district semifinal, I'll say in the first half we had a lot of chances, and like in the first like 30 minutes it was like crazy. We missed so many chances, like some breakaways. Like I missed one like around the penalty spot, like just a lot of chances that we missed. And then I think that kind of carried over into the second half. Where almost like our mentality was like even though the game was tied, like we felt like we were losing, like we were
Yeah.
rushing plays, like we had to score a goal like right now instead of just like almost like relax, like take a deep breath, just move the ball, like play how we normally play. And I think like because we were rushing, we like, couldn't create as much in the second half. And they're like, I wouldn't say they're a bad team. They're a pretty good team who can
Yeah.
like, and like on the right day, like they could definitely like hang with us. And I think that's what they did. They kind of decided like they're disciplined defensively. And since we were rushing plays, we couldn't create that much in the second half. And then eventually it just led to like the PKs, and it was unlucky what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, they have several players that sign. It's not like they can't play. I think if they were in a against a team that was not quite as strong as you guys or even Light Ridge, I think they would look like a really strong side. I just think it's in comparison. Um, yeah. So anyway, it got in pan, and then the penalty shootout. That must was that a frightening situation, or the fact that you knew even if you lost the penalties, you're still alive in regionals, or what was the frame of mind during the penalty shootout against Stonebridge?
I mean, yeah, we definitely knew, but like I feel like it's just like the pressure of like wanting to get the one seed, everyone knowing that we were the best team coming into the tournament. I feel like those were like the biggest pressures going into like the district tournament, like almost like we have a target on our back. We're the best team. It's like we should be winning this. It's not like it's like disappointing if we lost this penalty shootout, and like we want to be the one seed and play at home and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely like was definitely like there was some pressure in that penalty shootout.
Yeah. How did it feel when Light Ridge won the district title? Was that hurtful?
A little bit, yeah, because it's like I thought that I think that we like definitely would have put up a better fight against Lightridge as well in the district tournament, whether we won or not. That's like you can like talk about whether we would have won or not, but like I think we definitely would have put up a better like fight than Stonebridge in the district final.
Oh, for sure. And I also think that the fact that they didn't have to face you, the fact they won districts,
Mm.
might have kind of turned their season around in terms of, might have kept them going on a
Yeah, upward.
trajectory that led to the state final. Well, you played Stonebridge in the game. I think it was 6-0. And again, you
Mm.
guys were on a mission that day, and I know it was probably frustrating in some ways because once you relax and got a goal or two, it was obvious that it probably could have gone a little bit better for you last time. Is that how you felt about it?
Yeah, I mean it was definitely like a little like disappointing knowing like this is what we could have done against like Stonebridge, but it was just like good to get the win. And like before the game, like everyone came into the game and it was just like, all right, we score the first goal, just pick up the ball and like run back. Don't like run to the corner and celebrate. Just pick up the ball and run back. It was just like we wanted to make sure we beat them, and just like don't like play around like kind of what we did in the last game where we almost like took our first chances for granted and then we end up chasing the game. We just wanted to get ahead, try and just get the goals early, and don't like celebrate or anything. Just act like we're just gonna go back and score again on you.
Well, there was some celebration though, because I
Yeah.
got some great photos of one on you, one of Ali, one of um, what's my buddy Andres,
Yeah.
and I keep seeing them use other places. I'm like, hey, photo credit guys.
Hmm.
So he just so well, let's go to the final, the regional final. So you didn't have to play them in districts,
Hmm.
and were they a different team than you had faced earlier? Did he seem more confident in a different Light Ridge side?
I'll say a little bit, yeah. Especially like at the start, I think we definitely had a slow start, but they were like they were on us a little bit at like the last like 15 minutes of the first half. We were like feeling a bit more of the pressure, I would say.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was definitely like a different side in terms of I'll just say like almost like the defensive like discipline from them in a way. Like that's kind of what felt the most like different. Like I almost not like they definitely weren't a team that sat back against us, but like just the way they all like worked hard to get back was like really something that wasn't really like seen as much earlier in the season, I would say, from them. And it made us like made it harder for us to score. But
So when I saw you guys play them early in the year, it was 1-0, you guys won. I felt like you guys were a better team that day, but I didn't. I felt like they could compete with you guys. I thought
yeah,
they were a really nice team. Who got the better run of play in the regional final, if you had to say overall in the game?
I would say overall we probably contained more of the ball and we had some good chances, but I would say the chances created was pretty even and throughout the run of play almost I would say they probably had a little bit better like they had a bit better run of play in terms of like how they wanted to play the game. Like they're pretty fast on the counter and they
Mhm.
keep the ball good because they have three like pretty good they have three good midfielders as well, which helps them keep the ball. And they all have like a solid team. Everyone tries to play for them. And I'd say we were definitely making some mistakes where we were giving them the ball too easily. Like people were just making like stupid passes, giving up the ball. And so I think that's definitely kind of like played into their hand of how they wanted to play, of almost like being really disciplined defensively and just waiting for us to mess up and then like counter and keep the ball and create their chances that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I've told people that Light Ridge, in my opinion, is as good as teams like Herndon and Westfield. I'm not quite sure McLean, but at this point, I guess you can say that as well. I was really impressed with the Light Ridge team that I saw the day they play, and then the penalty shootout. Jimmy Brown, he was the penalty hero. What was the strategy of that shootout? Was it just did you guys had you guys thought about it more and because
I
of the
mean,
Stonebridge game?
we like practiced our penalties, but honestly, like we kind of thought like, okay, like we I don't think he's gonna like I don't think he would like dive the exact same ways as like where people shot against Stonebridge. So what we were thinking is just like, all right, if like we practice them and practice, it's almost like just pick your spot and go for it. Because if that's what you've been practicing, then hopefully the penalty will be good enough where even if he guesses the right way, you should hopefully score.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't have the best penalty, neither did like Nate, the kid who missed it, but I think definitely we probably should have thought about like just like maybe just like switching sides because they probably like I mean I'm almost guaranteed that they watched our game against Stonebridge and saw where we went and they like made sure to like write it down or something or tell their goalie to like memorize where these players go.
Yeah, it's so hard because then even if they know it, then you may
Yeah,
change.
because they could like change it and then
Yeah,
exactly. It's like a big like psychological
it's
game
such a
almost.
mind game. It's fun. Yeah, as long as you're not having to do it and then shoot them. Then you guys went on the road, a little road trip to Mills Godwin. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that must have been cool. I mean, obviously you'd rather host a game, but it was actually a nice experience to go down there and
Yeah, it
play.
was.
Yeah. So what was that game like?
It was good. I mean, we definitely came into the game like thinking like because we played them last year in the state quarterfinals actually. So we came into the game, we knew like at least from last year they were like a really physical team and they like wanted to try and like they don't want you to like keep the ball. They want a game that's transitional where it's really based on like physicality and like
Hmm.
speed, all that stuff. But then when we like came to the game, like I mean, a lot of their seniors were gone, so I don't think it was really the same team from them. Like they didn't have as much like attacking threats. Really, they didn't create much, and we definitely like our game plan was to try and keep as much of the ball as possible. And I would say we did that. Like even in the first half, we weren't trying to rush anything really. Like between the center backs and like Ale, we were just passing the ball slowly, moving it up to half field, and we probably had like spells of possession that were like 3 minutes, 4 minutes long, where we were just keeping the ball, like not rushing anything. And although we didn't have as many like amazing like chances created, I think like the ones we did create, like we were clinical and we finished them, which was good. And we ended the game like 2-0 and made sure they had no like real chances to actually like get back in the game.
Yeah. What kind of level were they, Godwin? Were they like in the same level as Stonebridge, a little bit stronger, or where would you
Yeah.
put them in some of the local with some of the local teams?
I would say probably like similar to like a Stonebridge, honestly, maybe even like a little bit below because they didn't have as much like attacking like threats. They weren't very like threatening on the ball, but they kind of just like tried to play it long and like hope that they got some goals in transition. And then on defense, they were really just packing it in and hoping that we couldn't score. Like pretty much all their players, besides maybe like their striker, was behind half field, kind of just hoping that we didn't create a lot of chances.
Yeah. Now that was a Tuesday, I believe, and then
Mhm.
your beach week was the next week. That wasn't during beach week for Loudon.
Our beach week is in a long. Our beach week is like was like just this past week,
Oh,
and
good.
I didn't go to beach week because we had playoffs.
Right,
So
right.
our
So
beach week
I know some
this
of
week.
the teams had like Wakefield, they went to the beach,
Mhm.
came back and practiced. It was
Yeah.
terrible because Fairfax County had beach week during states.
Hmm.
So which it's bad. All right, so the next is Kellum, right? And I believe
Yeah.
usually your bogey team is Cox, not Kellum,
Yeah.
right? Cox is
Yeah.
a team usually.
Fox.
Okay, so
Mhm.
Kellum was a team you probably didn't know as well. Is that
Yeah.
right?
We didn't know them very good.
So my guess is they're probably a pretty physical team as well. At least they are on the
Yeah.
girls' side. But how would you
I mean,
describe them?
yeah, they were a pretty physical team. I mean, they had they didn't have like too many seniors. It was a lot of like Beach FC players, like some like Virginia Rush, like a lot of like ECNL and RL players, and they were pretty good. But they definitely weren't like the biggest team, but they were pretty physical. Like the kids weren't like very tall, but they're like really physical. And I would say the way they played, they almost it was like almost similar to like Godwin in a way where they were sitting back a lot and they played on the counter. They had some fast wingers and they had like one really good midfielder and another guy playing up top who was good. And they would just get the ball quick in transition, try to play like up to the strikers or wingers, and then they would just try to like take 1v1s or just like play. They would try to play in our half almost. They didn't really want to like build out too much.
Wow. So
Hmm.
I guess very direct, very direct. So that game finished 1-1 in regulation, right? Or
Yeah.
was it zero? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
One.
who scored first?
They scored first off of a corner. It was actually like an own goal. A guy like shot it off, like went up to like the back post. The guy on Kellum shot it. It hit off the post and then bounced back out of one of our players' heads and then bounced into the net. So it's pretty unlucky, but
Oh God.
that's the game. I mean,
Yes.
pretty
Yeah.
unlucky.
So that kind of put the pressure on you guys.
Yeah. Oh, especially in the first half. Then in the second half, we like came out and it was almost like we gotta like relax a bit more and create our chances. Like don't try to like rush like the long balls. I think that's like the biggest thing. Don't like rush like the direct pass, like the game winning pass, because it's usually not going to come off. And when we came out in the second half, we had like all the control. That last like 30 minutes, we had so many chances created and we just couldn't put like more of them in the back of the net. But eventually we scored one, which was good, kind of a little bit of like a lucky goal, like kind of bounced off of some of the defenders, just fell to Andres' feet and he scored. But yeah, definitely there's a lot of chances that we could have put away. We had like a lot of control in that second half.
So when you headed in the overtime, were you guys determined to keep out of penalties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like when we went into overtime, it was like, all right, we're gonna get a goal soon. Like this should be like guaranteed with how many chances we're creating. Just come out the same. Like they looked really tired, and we were just like, just make sure we keep on putting it on, like super high press them, force them to try and play long and just win those balls and create chances. I feel like, and that's kind of I feel like we were doing that a lot in the overtime as well. We created a lot of chances. That's why the goal hurt so much. It was like completely against the run of play, like the penalty. So.
You don't have to cast aspersions on the officials, but I hear it was a call that
Yeah.
people weren't excited about.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know, I was just a little confused because the ref like blew the whistle like as the kid took the free kick, and it was with 2 seconds left on the clock. So, at, like, I didn't think the game was over, but my teammate did, and then the ball came right to him, and he just picked up the ball in the box, and then the ref called a penalty for it, and that's how we like lost. So it was pretty unlucky, like in the overtime. And when like the ref went to like talk to his error, we were thinking like, okay, he's just like he should just like be redoing the play. Like I was kind of like surprised why it was a penalty because like I feel like he like messed up a little bit on his end. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, like it's not much we can do now. Like it's over. It's not nothing we can do anymore.
That is a horrible way to lose.
Yeah, it's
God.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's mhm.
Well, we talked about how you felt about it, and it had to be devastating. But when you look back on your high school career, um, John, did playing all this high school ball, did it make you a better player? I mean, Do you ever are you glad you spent so much of your time playing high school and did you get rewarded for it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm really grateful for high school. I mean, not just on like the soccer side, just like having like amazing friends that I made through high school. Like, you know, like coming into high school, it's good to like know like you're going to be on a team, like you're going to make a bunch of new friends and stuff. I feel like all like the amazing like friends I made is something like I'll never forget, and they'll probably be friends that I have for like the rest of my life. And in terms of soccer, yeah, I think it definitely made me a better soccer player. Almost, I feel like it helped me to like trust my individual like abilities more because in club it's so like uh how do I explain it? Like it's a high
Regimented?
level. Yeah, it's like regimen. Like you do this. This is like your job on the field. But in high school, almost just to like be a little bit more like free flowing and like kind of like learn to like trust myself and my abilities, especially through like dribbling. I feel like in club, I don't definitely don't like dribble as much as I do in high school. And yeah, I feel like it helped me like all like this stuff like shaped me into like the player that I am today. And I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah,
And
I wish I would have caught on to you guys earlier. There was one of your parents of a kid that doesn't play all that much messaged me and said, "Hey, you got to go out here and come out and watch Riverside play." And I was like, so I did that week. And I wish I would have. I wish you guys had another year. But I guess what are you looking at some of the kids that are coming back? And let's leave the MLS next
yeah.
two thing aside for right now. Do you think that the team can rebuild? I mean, obviously you had a generational type team, and I don't know you ever have a team that strong, but can they rebuild a nice side for next year?
Yeah, I think we'll definitely have some good players coming in next year, like some of like the juniors, like Luke and Reed, and then like Ethan and Jaden as well. Like they didn't play as much this year, but they're definitely like really good players. And I think like some of these kids like probably would have played on like 90% of the other high school teams. It's just like we had a lot of like really good seniors this year, but we're definitely gonna have a good there's gonna be a good core of players next year of like good quality players like on RL teams, ECNL teams, but I think maybe some of like the depth might be missed a little bit in terms of like how many good players we're gonna have next year.
That's that's an understatement. Well, good. Well, I'm glad. I'm looking forward to that. And it's maybe it's the start of a new rivalry. Like instead of it's always been Stonebridge and Riverside, but now maybe it's going to be a
Yeah.
Light Ridge,
Mhm.
Riverside rivalry. Looking forward, which is really cool. Now, look, are you glad? Not glad, but is it kind of a relief now you can kind of focus on what they call the packet? I mean, I guess the college teams give all the players like a
Yeah.
workout thing. Is it easier now to focus now that you don't have to play any
Yeah.
organized teams?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. I mean, as soon as I get home, I'm starting the Mason preseason. Like captain's practices already
Oh,
started. So I'm really just gonna get home and like start training again, which is good.
okay.
But yeah, like in terms of like the packets that they give me, like they gave me like just like this like the team builder app where you can like do the workouts on there that they have scheduled for you. But
Hmm.
like I had to like text him. I'm like, Coach, I'm playing for like club, high school, like Nova, all that stuff. So like I won't be able to be doing like the lifting stuff until like high school season's over pretty much. And he said, yeah, like that's fine. Like we have a big preseason, so it's okay. But as soon as high school ended, I started to like do all the packets, do all like the lifting and stuff. And now it's
Yeah.
just time to like come in and start training with the team, which is good. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and we talked a little bit about this last time. I forgot the Mason coach's name again.
Coach Costanzo
Coach,
and Coach
Coach
Callahan, those like
That's that's right. And I know I don't want to put any pressure on you or speak for the coaches. Are you pretty excited about being able to get yourself a nice role on the team this year?
yeah, I mean, we'll see. Everyone has a role in the team, but I
Yeah,
mean, in terms of playing, like you never know what's going to happen. But our team should be really strong next year. I'm really excited for like the Mason team. We have some tough out of conference games. That's good. That's kind of like a good challenge for the team that we have. And I think our team's super talented and we can handle like any college team in the country from what I've seen.
yeah, yeah. They had a great year last year.
Yeah.
And John, when you look at the schedule, do you have a lot of have you circled a lot of games with your ex club and high school teammates that you're gonna see during the season?
There's like none. It's
Really?
actually none. Yeah, I'm not playing like any of my high school team
I
or any
can't
of my
believe
club
that.
teammates. It's crazy. Yeah, there's none. Like I'm not playing any like the high school teammates or my club teammates. It's crazy.
Wow, that's
But
so
yeah,
interesting.
our schedule is like there was none of them. Like last like the teams that my teammates were committed to, we played some of them last year, but we're not playing them this year. So
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, I'm playing like none of my high school or club teammates this
Oh,
year.
I'm sure maybe you see him in the
Yeah,
NCAA tournament.
yeah. Let's hope so.
That'd be a good problem to have. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, look, John, look, man, I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy you deserve it. It's quite an honor. I'm sure you probably would trade it for a state title, but being Washington Post Player of the Year puts you in an elite company. If you look at some of the athletes,
Mhm.
like the Grant Hills of the world, I mean, so many great athletes have been won that award from the Washington Post. It's a worldwide
Mhm.
newspaper. It means a lot more than Nova Soccer Store. So I mean, it's an amazing achievement. You deserve it. And yeah, I look for, obviously I'm local, so I'll definitely be checking you out on at Mason next year. And obviously don't forget to tag me on stuff if you
Mhm.
want me to share with the community.
Yeah, I will. I'll make sure to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Or John, look, man, safe trip back, and have enjoy your summer, and good luck getting ready for the season.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All
Thanks
right,
for
buddy.
calling.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
talking to you, man. Yeah.
bye.